Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from the Subaru of Keene broadcast booth at the Collins Pearly Sports Complex in scenic St. Albans, Vermont. This is Tim Johnson, and joined today by Paul Freed, studio engineer Dave Slick. It is Colonel State semifinal action on AM 1450. And by the way, this will also be telecast within the next few days on Brattleboro Community TV and on Northwest Access TV in the St. Albans area. Hello to you there, and we will try to be as nonpartisan as possible. But got to tell you, if you're watching in northwestern Vermont, I'm a Brattleboro graduate. Paul Freed, my colleague, is not only a Brattleboro graduate, but the Brattleboro girls coach, and he has coached several of these colonels on the softball team today. But this is a dandy of a matchup. Last time the Comets and the Colonels met up, it was the Vermont State Finals of 2011. Brattleboro and the Comets had a gutsy contest, won by the Colonels 2-1 in 9 innings. Today, BFA, the higher seed, Brattleboro is slightly lower, seeded third, but both teams with identical season records, and this could be, as they say, a barn burner or a dogfight, Paul.
Should be another classic. Both pitchers are returning, two fantastic young ladies, and I think it should be everything we hope.
We're hoping. We're going to hear from Brattleboro Colonel head coach Kelly Markle next. It is Colonel pregame on AM 1450 ESPN Radio, The Ticket. Pearly Sports Center, St. Albans, Vermont, Bellows Free Academy in St. Albans. And again, we're getting ready for the Colonels and BFA Comets in a Vermont Division I semifinal softball matchup. Starting lineup for the visiting Brattleboro Colonels this afternoon. It is leading off and catching our sophomore starter, McKinley Carpenter. You see what happens? I can't read my own writing, Paul. At second base, batting second, Alyssa Bazanson. Kayla Wood, the junior pitcher who has been just outstanding since coming onto the scene as a freshman. She bats third. Her bat is picked up this season. Senior Mackenzie Bover is the third baseman hitting cleanup. Mary Richardson, the senior shortstop, will hit fifth. Haley Struthers, who has shown a lot of work with the bat this year, is the designated player. She'll hit sixth. Lulu Terwilliger at first base hits seventh. Rissa Smith will hit eighth in left field. Bailey Page in right field hits ninth. And Daisy Giroux is the flex player in center field. Defense round the outfield for the BFA Comets. Lowe, Dussault, and Dupuis left to right. It'll be Millman, Doe, Lumbra, and Hourigan from third to first. Another Hourigan will be behind the plate, and Chelsea Abbott on the mound for the BFA Comets. Both teams have finished their batting practices. Paul, who do we have for umpires today?
Today we have Luke LaRoche behind home plate, and Mike Stanta will be out in the field.
And, of course, both of those sound like northern umpires. Not that there's a north versus south thing going on in Vermont. I thought we left that behind us in the mid-1860s. Hello to you in northern Vermont, by the way. But sometimes you'll find that rules and calls are interpreted just a little differently. So if you have a question during the game, that probably is going to be the answer. Colonels are coached by Kelly Markle, who, again, has won her last two Division I championships. And Bert Berthume is the head coach for the BFA Comets of St. Albans. Both teams meeting at the dugouts as both coaches are at the plate with the umpires, getting ready for the start of this afternoon's game. I don't believe there'll be a national anthem, and that's too bad. There will, however, be one at the Vermont State Championships, the softball championships, according to the Vermont Principals Association, scheduled for Friday night, 7:30 at the Pulteney Recreation Fields. And one of my highlights over the years has been being asked to sing the national anthem at last year's state championship game. That was nice.
Well, and deserved. I mean, you've been doing it at our basketball games for years, and it's a nice kind of to have that extra feature in your suitcase.
Well, you know, I was taught by a junior high music teacher. They called it junior high back then. Now it's middle school, that if you're at a sporting event, that's what you should be doing, because really the anthem deserves an amount of respect, and we need to be able to sing it out loud and strong. So.
Well, I'll state for the record that it's much better that you're going to be singing it than myself.
Okay, I wasn't going to say that.
My best singing comes in the shower.
Okay, there are no showers today, just so you know. Both teams getting their last shouts in.
Perfect day for a game, Tim. We couldn't ask for better weather.
A few clouds and a good breeze off Lake Champlain. This is going to be a lot of fun today. We have probably, looks like 30 people from Brattleboro have shown up, made the approximately 3-hour drive, one that we did in 2 hours, 45 minutes with a rest stop, but who's counting? And we're ready to go as soon as Abbott takes her warm-up tosses.
Well, we couldn't have gotten here as swiftly and smoothly without our grinders from
That's true.
Goozer's Market. That was key.
Of course, being well-fueled and well-fed is the key for any Army, whether it's the Broadcast Army or the Colonel Army. Not sure whether Brattleboro received a pregame meal today, but they certainly do deserve it. And you know, we're going to be right in back of those throws from first base today, so...
Yes, I'm keeping a close eye on things over there.
Maybe I should have worn my hockey mask. Not that it would improve my looks in any way, shape, or form.
Not touching that one.
So looking over at the third base dugout where the Comets are, good amount of parents coming through. And with any home game, all the parents arrive fashionably late, trying to get here as early as possible after their work schedule is done for the day. A lot of farm families within Franklin County, Vermont, northwestern Vermont. And so I see a few farm names, including the name Hourigan showing up a couple of times in the BFA lineup. Longtime Franklin County State Senator and chair of the Senate Agriculture Committee in his day, Francis Hourigan, a very powerful legislator and one to be remembered and remembered fondly. So Abbott gets her warm-up tosses in, and the Colonels get set to bat in the first inning. It'll be Carpenter leading off for the Brattleboro Colonels. I think we're going to stand today.
I think we got to get a good viewpoint here, Tim.
And she swings and misses at strike one. McKinley Carpenter, the Colonel sophomore catcher, loves a bunt, and both infielders come in, and she hacks it back for a foul strike. It's 0-2.
And Abbott is bringing it right from the get-go.
Carpenter known for slashing and then looking bunt and then pulling back and slashing the ball. That's up out of the zone for ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You can feel the atmosphere already. And, ooh, that was just off the plate. A 2-2 count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Close call. Infielders cheat in. That is inside, and we're full up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full up at the Balls and Strikes Motel. Tom Bodette, buddy, you're missing a great game. I'll leave the light on for you. How's that? And foul back at 3-2. We hold the count.
Nice cut by Carpenter there, staying alive.
Yeah, Carpenter has impressed with the bat this year. In fact, she's moved up in the order because of that bat control. Carpenter fouls another one.
She also has that mentality you'd like in the top of the order, Tim. You know, just fearless, aggressive, and a good leader out there.
I would compare her with maybe Tony Phillips of the old Detroit Tigers. And Carpenter works a walk to start off the game and start off the first inning for the Colonels. And at the plate is the speedy second baseman, Alyssa Bazanson. She's shown some good hacks.
She's really started to come around as a hitter as well in the second half of the year.
Hitting was a bit of an issue depending upon the pitching against the Colonels. And a blunt buff, but they're going to call a strike there. Strike one on Bazanson. That should be bunt bluffed. You'll notice a spoonerism or two on occasion here. Bazanson misses the bunt try. It's 0-2. Two-strike count. Both the first and third baseman cheating in. Bazanson is rung up on a called strike 3. 1 down. And here comes the junior pitcher for Brattleboro, Kayla Wood.
Also really started to find her hitting in the second half.
Not only
good line drive hitter
has she been a great pitcher, she takes a look at a called strike, one at the knees. 0-1 on Wood.
Chelsea seems to be quite relaxed out there on the hill. Looking very comfortable.
Home field, why not? Wood bluffs at a bunt, pulls it back. Should be 1-1, but yes, they're going to appeal and no swing, so it'll be 1 ball, 1 strike. Looked like Wood might have done a bunt try, but did pull it back just in time. Bunt popped up, and that is out of the range of the catcher, Hourigan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's the worst thing you can do, is pop up a bunt. That's almost like a gift to the opposing fielders.
Didn't quite have that bat level across the top there, but new life for her.
Wood looks out at 1-2. And she's rung up on a called strike 3. Now Carpenter is hung up, and they're going to take care of her as the first baseman, Hourigan, gets the tag and gets the Comets out of the top of the first inning. Comets coming up, Colonels heading to the field. It's 0-0, and it's the Colonels on AM 1450, ESPN Radio, The Ticket. Colonels in the field, the Comets at the plate. It'll be Kelsey Lumbra, Kat Hourigan, and Eli Millman, the top 3 in the Comet order. Again, this is a Vermont Division I state semifinal. Winner of this game will face the winner of the St. Johnsbury Essex game, also going on this afternoon, Friday evening at the Pulteney Recreational Complex in Pulteney, Vermont. Wood gives her last warm-up toss in just a bit.
Be nice for her to get off to a good start. She's had a couple of games recently where it's taken her a little while to get going, and I think today it'd be nice for her to come out and sort of be looking sharp right from the beginning.
Well, you know, expectations have been high with this young lady since she came on the scene as a freshman, and if you see a burp in her performance, people wonder what's wrong, and it's just a normal process for any pitcher. You're feeling your way around the plate.
2 state championships your first 2 years, that'll do that.
That it will. So the Colonels will get together in back of the pitching circle and get ready to face Kelsey Lumbra, the second baseman for the Comets. And we have several Comets in green body paint. I think that's it. At least they painted only their shirts.
Good school spirit.
You bet. Wood will toe the rubber. Fires, and Lumbra hits that right in the air to Daisy Page in right. First pitch out, 1 gone. Lumbra looking all the way.
That was a rising line drive that Bailey just had enough to get on.
You'll notice, though, that they did not get around on Wood. The ball ended out in right field on the right-handed batter.
It's kind of hard to get good wood on Wood.
Kat Hourigan, the Comet catcher, looks at a ball just off the plate. It's 1-0.
Seems the Comets have come here pretty aggressive, Tim, swinging at that first pitch if it's in there.
Bover is in at third base a couple of steps. And that's popped up foul. That is a strike. 1-1. Saw a play in the Colonel baseball quarterfinal back on Friday where the Brattleboro catcher fully extended himself on a similar foul pop-up and caught it extended.
Talking about Jamie Martell.
Great catcher.
Heck of a catcher.
Colonels, by the way, outed on Friday by Rice, 1-0 in 10 innings. Is called
nice
strike.
Changeup by Kayla there, mixing it up, had her fooled.
1-2 on Hourigan. And that's hit right down the line to Wood. She'll, to Williger. She'll step on first unassisted. Lulu's back in town, and she's playing first base. 2 gone for the Comets. It is Eli Millman, the third baseman.
Coach Marco telling her outfield to take a few steps back. A lot of respect for this batter here.
Millman, a heavy hitter. She looks at a ball just above the letters for ball 1.
Outfield playing pretty much straight away here. Respecting again the batter. Maybe a young lady who can pull Kayla here.
Could be. Millman takes a look and gets a called strike. It's 1-1. See, the BFA boys are playing a baseball playdown today as well. I believe that's a semifinal over across the complex. And a foul tip.
Quite a cut right there, Tim. She was swinging up on that pitch. She had one thing in mind.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Wood juggles the ball in her glove, fires, and that's fouled back. Still 1-2. There's a walking and jogging path around this sports complex. We'll occasionally see a jogger go by, except if you're on the radio. You'll just have to use your imagination if that's the case.
Beautiful facility here.
You bet. Swinging strike 3.
Got her with the changeup well ahead of that pitch.
Millman rung up, and the Comets are down in order. We've played 1. It's 0-0. It's Colonel's State Semifinal softball on AM 1450. ESPN Radio, The Ticket. Perfect. Dave Slick back at the controls in Brattleboro, bringing us back with Lulu and to serve with love. How about that?
Way to go, Dave.
Lulu makes a play. Heart of the Colonel order is up in the second inning. Mackenzie Bover, Mary Richardson, and Haley Struthers. 4, 5, and 6 in the Brattleboro order. You know, other teams would call that the meat of the order. This is a girls' game. We call that the heart of the order.
And heart's a good term here, for especially with these two coming up.
Oh, you
bet. 2 seniors with a lot of heart right here. Great leaders.
Bover looks at a ball down low. It's 1-0. Mackenzie wears number 13 as the Colonel third baseman. Right-handed batter. And that is hit back to Abbott. She'll throw to first base. Pitcher to first for the first out. Bit of a tapper back to the mound. Certainly, the Comets have gotten better wood on wood than the Colonels have on Abbott to date.
It's early.
Mary Richardson, the Colonel shortstop. She started off being flexed in the early part of the season, has brought her bat out in a big way in recent games.
She was nursing a little bit of a knee injury early, Tim.
She looks at a ball. It's 1-0.
Something that kind of carried her in the end of basketball season, too.
And again, you'd know about that since you're the basketball coach. A called strike across the plate. It's 1-1.
But another great leader.
Hard worker as well. Richardson looks at called strike 2. It's 1-2. Richardson fouls that back. We stay 1-2.
Nice job again there, hacking away, defending the plate.
That's what you've got to do at this point in the game.
Yeah, Abbott brings it, so you got to be ready when you get in there.
And as I understand, you have coached against Chelsea Abbott in basketball. And there's a pop-up in back of first base. Over in back of the Colonel fandom along right field.
Was expecting to see a little quicker reaction by the fans, but...
Yeah, I would have thought that Kayla Wood's relatives would, have quicker reaction than that, but... Got to pick on them. And Richardson hits it to right. And she gets rung up for the second out as the right fielder Dupree gets that.
Got some decent wood on that one, Tim.
Indeed. Just as we said the Colonels hadn't hit anything hard, there was that fly ball to right. Haley Struthers, the designated batter at the plate. And she looks at a ball upstairs. It's a 1-0. A lot of talking on both sides. Swinging strike, it's 1-1.
Good cut by Haley right there.
Haley not only is good with a bat, she's come in defensively and done a bang-up job as well. And that's just off the plate for ball 2. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. And that hits the corner. It's 2-2.
Excellent pitch. Low outside corner.
It's where you want it.
Yeah, Chelsea seems to like that corner.
She thought about it, but pulled back. We're full up at the Balls and Strikes Motel. Bodette, if these kids come to town, you better get them a room. Whether it's lit or not. Foul back to the screen, still 3-2.
Got another good battle going here between pitcher and batter.
You bet. Nice gentle breeze. Struthers hits it foul down the third baseline. We stay 3-2.
Good job hacking away, making Chelsea work on the hill.
I think you'll probably see Struthers in the infield, maybe first or third or one of the corner infield positions next year. I believe she's a sophomore.
She did very well that last game we did together. She came into third base and made a couple great plays.
Struthers hits it to second. Lumber over to first in time to retire the side. Colonels go in order in the top of the second. We played 1.5, no score. It's the Colonels on AM 1450, ESPN Radio, The Ticket. Bottom of the second for the Brattleboro Colonels and BFA Comets. Here's Allie Doe, the shortstop, to lead the BFA second. Wood pitches, and that's hit up the middle into center field. First hit of the game. And Giroux fields that off her body and stops the runner. So Doe goes do-si-do into first base with a hit. Leading the second, it'll bring up Dussault, the center fielder.
Sharp, hard ground ball right up the middle. No chance for anybody on that one.
Really, both second baseman and shortstop were at their traditional positions, and that was a tweener. Hard hit tweener.
Was. Best hit ball, I'd say, today so far.
Wood slows things down. And that is in and out of the glove of Carpenter. No advance by Doe.
She went, I thought. So it's a strike.
So it is a strike, as the base umpire allows us to see. 0-1 on Dussault. And that is going to be a ball, 1-1. Always waiting for the umpire's hand to come up.
Yeah, he's kind of thinking about him a little bit here before he gives you that signal.
A deliberate call, as long as he's convincing. Carpenter comes up thinking a throw to first, but no throw made. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Colonel's moving everywhere. Bailey Page doing a nice job of coming in and backing up first base if there is a throw.
And that's hit on the ground to Richardson. Over to second. Gets the lead runner for the first out. So Doe has got to go. Dussault on at first, though. And we won't make any more bad rhymes or bad puns for the next 5 seconds at least. It'll be Chelsea Abbott, the BFA pitcher, with 1 gone, 1 on. Abbott hangs in from the right side. She fouls it back for strike 1.
Very good cut right there.
I don't think she's going to be cheated. This BFA team, a good hitting team.
Very good hitting team. That's definitely one of their strengths. May be as good a hitting team as there is in the state, Tim.
And that's going to be off the plate for a ball. 1-1.
It's really strength versus strength because they're going against one of the better pitchers in the state, without question.
You bet. Just on the corner, it's 1-2.
Took a little something off that one once again, kind of had her off balance.
Good coaching on both ends here. And no call, so that's going to be off the plate for 2-2. Our position means that we need to kind of lean in for a strike call. Did she go? And the base umpire says no, so that's 3-2.
3-2, Tim. That was a very close call there.
Pull up at the Balls and Strikes Motel, but still plenty to go. And that is popped up in the air. Richardson will take the pop-up for the second out. They all kind of scurried and did the maypole dance, and Mary said, look, I got it. Take charge.
Interesting choice of words there, Tim. One of Mary's nicknames is Scurry.
And this is Howergan, Shirley Howergan, the first baseman at the plate. Time is called. Did they have thunder? As the Men at Work song would say, can you hear the thunder?
Brattleboro fans did not hear any thunder.
And given the fact that there are rules about that sort of thing, they say you better run, you better take cover if you go on with a song like that. So it looks like there's going to be probably a 20-minute wait. So
don't those same rules apply, Tim, to baseball?
I believe so.
The baseball team's still playing.
Well, the baseballers aren't paying attention. And I think we're going to be thankful for the fact that we brought a tent with us today.
I think you're right. Things happen quickly up here with this wind.
They do. So we have
a 20-minute delay, is that correct?
Probably about a 20-minute delay. We'll check with the umpires and see what.
I've got about 4:50, so with any luck, maybe around 5:10, 5:15, and here comes a little rain.
So the rain is coming. What we're going to do back in Brattleboro, I think we'll send it back to you for now and come back in just a few minutes. We'll have a rain delay. The Colonels on AM 1450 ESPN Radio. The Ticket. We're back in just a bit. All right, good afternoon, everybody, from the Subaru of Keene broadcast booth at the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans, Vermont. Bellows Free Academy. The Brattleboro Colonels and BFA Comets continue this afternoon their Vermont Division I semifinal game. In fact, when we left you yesterday, what was it? Dinah Washington that sang What a Difference a Day Makes back in the 50s. We had a half an hour of thunderstorm at about 5 o'clock yesterday. There were valiant efforts made to dry out the field, which is the red clay field that helps you when you slide. It doesn't make you hurt as much. They could not get this field dry. Today, 180 degrees difference. Field is very, very playable, and they are getting ready to play some softball. In fact, just to run you through what happened, we're in the bottom of the second inning with no score. In the BFA second, Allie Doe, the shortstop, led with a single to center field. She was erased off second base by a ground ball to shortstop from Sam Dussault. Dussault reached on the fielder's choice, and a pop-up to the shortstop by Comet pitcher Chelsea Abbott. So no score to date. The Brattleboro Colonels, just to run down the defense, will have Smith in left, Giroux in center, Page in right, Bover, Richardson, Bazanson, and Terwilliger from third to first. Carpenter is the catcher, and junior Kayla Wood is the starting pitcher. The Colonels are, of course, the two-time defending champion, Vermont Division I champs, last year beating these same Comets in the championship game in Pulteney, Vermont, 2-1 in 9 innings. The winner of this game goes on to face the Essex Hornets, who beat their opponent, Missisquoi Valley Union, 2-1 in 12 innings yesterday. So we go back to the second inning, and the first baseman for the Comets, Shanley Howergan, will step in at the plate. The umpires are ready to go. and everything is right with the world. Infielders in a little bit at first and third. Looks like the center fielder for the Colonels, Giroux, slightly toward left field for Hourigan. Pitch is hit in the air, foul down the first base line. That'll go out of play. In fact, a gentleman with a bright yellow tie handled that. Great job, sir. We're both on the radio and on the Northwest Access TV. Also next week, because of exchange programming, we'll also be on Brattleboro Community TV, so look for that as well. 0-1 the count on Hourigan. That's just up out of the zone for a ball, 1-1. Hourigan, depending upon the inning, will be followed by Lowe and then Caitlin Abbott. Hourigan, the 7th batter in the Comet order. She hits it on the ground to Richardson at short, over to first in time to retire the side. One hit, but nothing in for the Comets. We played 2. Our score, 0-0. Just a bit of radio lingo as we try to catch up on things. By the way, pregame meal brought to you by Gujar's Market and Deli, Canal Street, Brattleboro. Beverages for our broadcast team from Leader Distribution Systems of Brattleboro, your local Pepsi distributor. See, these guys take good care of me. I like that. To Williger at the plate, and she looks at a ball. In fact, I'm looking at the back of Jeff Rawson, the Colonel assistant coach, rather than anything else. 1 ball to count on Terwilliger, and she's pushed back. It's a 2-0 count. We are almost adjacent to the first base dugout. A 3-ball, no-strike count on Terwilliger to lead the Colonel third. And that is a called strike on the corner. He caught the corner, rather she caught the corner, that being Chelsea Abbott for the Comets. 3 balls, 1 strike. And that's fouled back, making it 3-2. And if you are watching this in northwestern Vermont, we always tell you that it's full up at the Ball 2 Strikes Motel as area resident of southern Vermont, Tom Bodette, gets his due. Well, he's already got his money. He might as well get his due. That is fouled down near our location, almost picking off a cameraman. Guy's pretty agile for somebody who looks like he's ready for the early bird special. There you go. Hold it 3-2. And a called strike. Ooh, Terwilliger didn't like that one. And Lulu is rung up to start the Colonel third. It brings up Rissa Smith. Rissa, the left fielder for the day. Digs in the dirt a little bit. Gets the dust flowing back to people sitting behind the backstop. Rissa looks at a ball up high. Infielders for the Comets in just a step or two. Smith looks at a called strike. It's 1-1. That about at the knees. Smith looks at a ball inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Yesterday, by the way, BFA won the boys baseball semifinal. They'll be in the finals on Saturday. That was rung up. Borderline call, but they rung it up. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's fouled back onto the screen. Hold it 2-2. On deck circle is Bailey Page. Smith hits it to shortstop. That is Doe. Over to first by a step and gets through for the second out. Allie Doe took that one on the short hop, got it over to first, and Hourigan just in time to retire Rissa Smith. Bailey Page at the plate for the Colonels. Bailey, the bottom of the order. And she fouls that one in back of the screen for 1 strike. Colonels with a younger than normal team this year, even though they have 5 seniors. They graduated 7 from last year's state championship squad. Down low for Page. That's 1-1. The name Bailey, only other time I heard that was on the old TV show WKRP, Bailey Quarters. Remember that one back in the 70s? And a called strike. It's 1-2 to Page. That's right. How many fingers am I holding up? I've heard that one before. Down low. 2-2 on Page. We can even hear the umpire. That's a good thing. That's hit to the shortstop, beyond the shortstop, in left field for a base hit. And the speedy Page gets the Colonels' first hit with 2 outs. That'll bring up McKinley Carpenter, who walked her first time up and was caught stealing. Colonels looking to get something on the board in this 3rd inning. Carpenter stands in. Will slash her bat as trying to bunt and then pull it back and hit. Page gets a long lead and comes back as the catcher bluffs the throw to first base. One ball count. Swinging strike. Double check the count for you, as I'm always superstitious about those sorts of things. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a called strike 2. Carpenter is in the hole at 1-2. I like it when umpires shout. Fouls it back. We're still 1-2. Both the third baseman Howergan and the third baseman Millman coming in to protect against the bunt or the dribbler. Carpenter will look bunt. Probably pull it back and slash. And she swings and misses at strike 3 to retire the side. Colonels get a hit, but to no avail. We've played 2.5. Our score 0-0. It's the Colonels on AM 1450, ESPN Radio, The Ticket. Bottom of the 3rd, no score, 1 hit for each squad. The BFA Comets will send up 8, 9, and 1 in their order. Maria Lowe, Caitlin Abbott, and Kelsey Lumbra. So far, both Kayla Wood and Chelsea Abbott for BFA are pitching some very, very good games, locked up again in a duo that they've kind of done before. Last 3 years now, BFA, Essex, and Brattleboro among the class of Vermont Division I in softball. Essex will be in the finals tomorrow night at Pulteney. They defeated Missisquoi 2-1 in 12 innings yesterday. Winner of this game will be the opponent. All the Colonels go back and gather at the back of the pitcher's circle. The outfielders do the same thing. And we're set for some softball. It is the bottom of the 3rd. And Maria Lowe is at the plate. Right-handed batter. And she will take ball 1 just out of the zone. Lots of chatter today. Lowe looks at a called strike. It clipped the inside corner. A 1-1 count. Wood's primary mission is the fastball, but she'll use the changeup and spot it on occasion. That's a fastball high. 2 balls, 1 strike. And just out of the zone. It is deep in the count. 3 balls, 1 strike. And a swinging strike 2. That means we're full up at the balls and strikes motel. You know, I wonder what really leaving the light on for you really means. Not sure. We'll check that. That's hit in the air to right field. Wow, Byzantium made a valiant try, but that means that Lowe will get on at first. Just out of the reach of Byzantium, who came to that from second base. And a leadoff single for Lowe for the Comets. Caitlin Abbott, the designated batter, will get to the plate. And a courtesy runner. That is Hannah Lovelett. She is a junior. So the courtesy runner deployed early. As one run really could mean a lot in this ball game. Lovelett in for Lowe. And Abbott at the plate. Infielders cheating in at first and third. And that is foul. Just a loud strike. Bover almost close enough to shake hands with Abbott. And Terwilliger also in to make sure that there was a witness to the ceremony. One strike count on Abbott. Butt is over to first and in time to retire Abbott. As Bover had it on the ground, kind of sidearmed it on the ground, but Terwilliger able to pick it off close enough. 5-3, sacrifice works. And Lowe goes down to second base. Top of the order is Lumbra, who lined to right field her first time up. And that is a liner that is trapped by Giroux. They'll go into third as it is a base hit. First and third, runners at the corners for the Comets. Giroux gave it a good try, but it tailed off, and she was able to short hop it. Didn't let it go by her. Kat Howergan, the Comet catcher, at the plate. She grounded to the first baseman unassisted her first time up. Left-handed batter, so cameraman be ready. And an uncontested steal of second by Lumbra puts both runners in scoring position. That, of course, was a ball. You know, it's halfway through the game, I finally noticed the scoreboard here. That's fouled back to the screen. It's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the third inning. One of 2 Howergans in the lineup. Yes, they are sisters. Thank you for asking. Up high. That's ball 2. 2-1. Wood over the year has had some spots where she's been a little shaky when she has started pitching. Won't say this is it, but... And that is hit in the air to Giroux. Giroux throws from center field, and the sacrifice works. It is 1-0 Comets. On the fly to center field. Scoring is the courtesy runner, Lovelett. And down to third will go Lumbra. 2 down. And it brings up the hard-hitting Eli Millman. She struck out her first time up nearly a full day ago. Eli stands in. Wide stance. And she takes strike 1. Amazing, all the cameras here today. And that's out of the zone for a ball. It's 1-1. Wood steps off the circle. Batter steps out of the box. Kayla toes the rubber again. Batter gets set. And a swinging strike. Runner will come in and score. Bad news for the Colonels as it's 2-0. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Millman. She gets her bat back in much the same way as Stella got her groove back in the movie of that name. Millman will go back into the box for the 1-2 count. Wondered where she was going. Up high, it's 2-2. So a pair of singles lead to a pair of runs for the Comets in the 3rd inning. That is popped out of play to another portion of the complex. We stay 2-2. Up high, and that will full up at the Balls and Strikes Motel. Bodette, a little magic, if you please. At least from a Colonel standpoint, as Carpenter goes out to talk to Kayla Wood. Three balls, 2 strikes. As Millman, who has good power, stands back in. And she hits that out of play over in back of the left field stands. Stands along the left and right field areas for both home and away fans. The count holds 3-2. That is fouled out of play as well. New ball in play and will be in play. Millman deliberate. Wood glares down her catcher. And just off the zone as Millman takes a closer walk down to first base. 2 outs, runner on first, and it brings up the cleanup hitter, Allie Doe, who got the first hit of the ball game last inning, but before the day-long rain delay. Down low for ball 1. Snap throw to first base. Runner gets back with not a problem. When you're an infielder and Carpenter is behind the plate, be ready for anything, especially a throwback, nail a runner. Pop up, that'll go out of play behind the BFA Comet dugout. Count is 1-1. Everybody gets set again. And just off the zone. Ball 2, it's 2-1. Wood pitches in, it's down low for a 3-1 count. You can hear the chatter. Everybody's excited. 3-1, and that is out of the zone, ball 4. 2 runners on via the walk. Doe at first, Millman at second. Brings up Dussault, the center fielder, who hit into a fielder's choice last time up. And some conferences going on. Bert Berthume will talk with his runners at first base. Kelly Markle will talk with Caleb Wood and her infielders and catcher in the middle of the pitcher's circle. Got to discuss the situation. And for the Colonels, try and stop the bleeding. For the Comets, extend what has been a successful 2-run inning. Again, Dussault at the plate. Infielders even with first and third. And a called strike at the knees. 1 strike. That's hit in the air to shortstop. Richardson will take it and end the inning. So Dussault pops to Richardson at shortstop. That'll end the 3rd inning, but the Comets come up with 2 runs and now lead 2-0. It's Colonel softball on AM 1450 ESPN Radio, The Ticket. Top of the 4th inning as the Brattleboro Colonels try to come out of a 2-0 deficit. And the Colonels will have Bazanson, Wood, and Bover as Brattleboro gets into the heart of their lineup. Bazanson was called out on strikes her first time up, and she'll look to improve upon that. Again, a very pleasant day in Franklin County, Vermont this afternoon. The breeze off Lake Champlain, just a few high weather clouds. Perfect for softball or any other outdoor sport. As Chelsea Abbott pitches to Bazanson, she fouls it back to strike 1. Again, just to reset the defense for BFA, it'll be Lowe, Dussault, and Dupree left to right. Millman, Doe, Lumbra, and Hourigan 3rd to 1st. And a ball, making it 1-1. Hourigan is the catcher, Abbott is the pitcher for BFA. And that's ball 2, making it 2-1. Down low, it's a 3-1 count. Bazanson hoping to get on here. Up high, and she'll take first on the walk. Second walk given up by Abbott for BFA. And Kayla Wood, who was called out on strikes her first time at the plate, is ready to go. And that's fouled back to the screen, strike 1. Wood thinking bunt there. Really looking to advance the runner, get somebody into scoring position. And a called strike. It's 0-2. Wood steps out, asks for time. So you can ask, but the umpires are the one who grant. And don't set up in front of me, sir. She fouls it back, still 0-2. Yeah, that'll be good. See, that's the world today. Everybody's got a camera, everybody's got a cell phone. They're all shooting. And in fact, Jeff Rawson will probably post that one on Facebook later. That's out of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeff, the assistant colonel coach, who takes a lot of pictures. That is out of the zone. We'll leave it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kayla Wood has been a consistent hitter all season long. If this is the time if she's going to continue that. And she fouls back another one. Into the tall grass, into the reeds. To be chased down by a young man in a small fry uniform. 2-2 on Wood. And Wood hits it to the second baseman, tags Pazanson out, and gets the double plays. She has a tag him out, throw him out double play. You know what? It's only 2 outs. Wow. You'd think they just won the presidential election. So a 4-3 double play. Brings up Mackenzie Bover, who grounded to the pitcher her first time up. Called strike at the knees. Strike 1. Can't blame him for being excited though. Foul back to the screen. It's 0-2. One of the basics of any sport, remembering how many outs there are. And that's hit weakly foul down the third base line to the BFA dugout. We hold at 0-2. If Bover gets something going, Richardson is in the on-deck circle. Out of the zone, it's ball 1, 1-2. Down low, 2-2. Bover is battling back. As you would expect from one of your seniors. Bover hits that just beyond the outstretched glove of Doe in the left field for a base hit. And the Mac attack is back. Here comes Richardson, who flied to right her first time up. As Bover gets her instructions from across the diamond. In fact, if you're sitting in your living room in Brattleboro, you still can hear Coach Kelly Markle. That is a strike 1 on Richardson. Called strike at the knees. Quickly 0-2 on Mary. And Richardson hits it down the right field line, out of play. Almost caught by a fan. Get a glove. A fan from Brattleboro, that is. Still 0-2. And that's a ball in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kat Hourigan doing a nice job behind the plate. That's hit on the ground to shortstop, over to first, and beyond us. In fact, that knocked my antenna slightly off kilter. In fact, they're going to send the runners back, I believe. Bover will go back to third on the error, and Richardson back to second. And I'll sacrifice an antenna for that any day. So Richardson on with the error on the throw by the shortstop. She's on at second. Bover on at third with 2 out. And here comes Haley Struthers, the designated batter for Brattleboro. And of course, this situation, you're going to make sure that everybody knows what they're up to. Kelly Markle giving Struthers her druthers. Pardon the pun. But that's what a coach does. You give someone your druthers. Called strike at the knees on Struthers. 1 strike count. At the knees again. Tough call, but it is quickly 0-2. Abbott almost able to get out of this one if she can get Struthers out of the zone. It is a ball, 1-2. As Haley hangs tough. Just off the plate. Wow, 2-2. Common coach Bert Perfume didn't like that one. Bird walking around a lot. That's hit on the ground to the shortstop. Over to first in time. Just gets Struthers by half a step to retire the side. Wow. Could have been a golden opportunity there. We'll see if Girls get another one. We played 3.5. Our score 2-0. St. Albans, BFA Comets back with more softball next on AM 1450 ESPN Radio, The Ticket. Bottom of the 4th, the BFA Comets back at the plate. They will send up Chelsea Abbott, Shanley Howergan, and Maria Lowe. Abbott the pitcher, Shanley the first baseman, and Lowe the left fielder. BFA with a 2-0 lead thanks to a pair of runs. And they were able to threaten for more. We shall see what happens here. Abbott, the pitcher, had popped to the shortstop her first time up. She fouls that one back, had him excuse me off the bat, back to the screen, strike 1. Abbott back in. Wood fires inside. That's a ball, 1-1. And that is hit in the air to second baseman Bazanson. She'll take the pop up for the first out. 1 gone. It brings up the first baseman Shanley Howergan, who was the first batter of today's action, the resumption of the suspended game. She grounded to the shortstop. And that's off the plate for ball 1. Again, beverages today provided by Leader Distribution Systems, your local Pepsi distributor. Pre-game meal, Goosier's Market and Deli of Brattleboro. And a called strike on Howergan, a 1-1 count. Shanley will stand in. And look at a ball just up above the letters, a 2-1 count. And that's fouled back. Back toward the reeds. It is 2-2. A lot of youth baseball and softball players making sure they get a chance to get the errant foul balls today. And that is excuse me over in foul territory. 2-2 count. People now lined all around the outfield, as well as up the left field line for BFA. Down the right field line for Brattleboro. Swinging strike 3. And Howergan rung up. And that is only the second strikeout on Wood. Kayla having to gut this one out today as Lowe takes the plate. She singled and scored the first of 2 BFA runs back in the 3rd inning. Called strike at the knees. In fact, the umpire doubles as the local hog caller. Foul back at strike 2. Game about a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes old for the afternoon. Up high, and that is a ball. It's 1-2. We had played about roughly 20 minutes before the rains came yesterday. So basically, we've been at it an hour. Off the plate and a ball. It's 2-2. And whoops, we made a mistake there. It is Lovelet who came in as the courtesy runner for Lowe. And she grounds that to Richardson at short. Over to first. And no love lost for Lovelet as her grounder retires the side. 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. Our score, BFA 2, Brattleboro nothing. We'll come back with more softball next on AM 1450, ESPN Radio, The Ticket. Top of the 4th from the Subaru of Keene broadcast booth at the Collins Pearly Sports Center in St. Albans, Vermont. Again, Tim Johnson, studio engineer Dave Slick with the Colonels playoff softball of Vermont Division I state semifinal. The winner goes on to face Essex tomorrow night in Pulteney, Vermont. The loser will go home with plenty of good memories. Really, you get to this point, there are no losers. The Colonels will lead with Terwilliger, the first baseman. She swings and misses at strike 1. Top of the 5th inning here. We play 7 in high school ball. That's fouled back for strike 2. We've got to ask somebody what the meaning of the railroad car is right next to the reeds. Maybe I can get an explanation. Looks like an old caboose. And that is a ball. It's 1-2. No caboose like an old caboose. Ah, this is Railroad City, I'm told. Swinging strike 3 as Lulu sits down after the strikeout. Again, this will be telecast next week on Northwest Access TV, and also once they exchange the programming on Brattleboro Community TV, as Smith gets hit on the ankle and Rissa will head down to first base. So a hit batsman brings the Colonels a base runner with 1 down in the 5th inning. And Bailey Page, who singled at her only at bat at the plate. Off the plate for ball 1. As Bailey Looks down to the third base coaching box and gets her instructions. Wait a minute now, 2 batters hit in a row as Abbott continues to work inside. Someone suspicious would think conspiracy, but me, I just think that Abbott's trying to pitch inside and challenge the hitters, and her control might not be what it should be right now. Is that going to leave a mark? Oh, my goodness. Well, that certainly will leave a memory. So Page and Smith, both wearing the designs of Chelsea Abbott, are on the base paths. And both of them getting some instruction from Al Wood, one of the assistant coaches, on how to be a bit player on a children's TV show. Yeah, I think in a past life, Al was one of the Wiggles. And Carpenter, top of the order, is at the plate for the Colonels. 1 gone, 2 on, top of the 5th. Yeah, I think he was the Red Wiggle. And a swinging strike, making it 1-1. Center fielder is coming in, and that just off the plate for ball 2. But the center fielder is working her way in shallow. Infielders in a double play depth. And Carpenter fouls it back for strike 2, 2-2. So if Al Wood was one of the Wiggles, that would make Jeff Ross and Barney the Dinosaur. And a 3-2 count, full up of the balls and strikes motel as Carpenter able to pull back on one. You're missing a great game, Bodette. And look at this, second walk of the day for Carpenter. You see that? Being selective is a plus. So bases loaded with Colonels. Smith at third, Page at second, Carpenter at first, and Alyssa Bezanson has a chance to do some damage. Alyssa stands deep in the batter's box and looks at called strike 1. Thinking that Abbott is just a little wild in this inning. And a called strike 2 as it's protection time for Bezanson. Protect that plate. And that is back to the screen. And in for the first run is Smith on the wild pitch. Other runners also move up. Page to third and Carpenter to second. We have a 1-2 count on Bezanson. But more importantly, the Colonels get one back. 2-1 BFA. The top of the 5th. And a ball, that's 2-2. And, ooh, called strike 3, and Alyssa is rung up. And that brings up Kayla Wood. She's still looking for her first hit. Called out on strikes in the first and grounded to second base in the 4th. Wood hits it down the right field line. And at the line, the right fielder Dupuis ends the inning. Good poke by Kayla, but right into somebody's glove. We've now played 4.5 innings. Our score, BFA 2, Brattleboro 1. It's Colonel Softball on AM 1450. ESPN Radio, the ticket. Bottom of the 5th inning, the BFA Comets will have Abbott, that's Caitlin Abbott, Kelsey Lumbra, and Kat Howerton, 9, 1, and 2 in their order if in the 5th inning. Abbott will stand in after the plate umpire does a little bit of housekeeping, grounds maintenance, landscape architecture at the plate. In reality, he's just cleaning it off with a little whisk broom, but the embellishment makes sense. On the afternoon, Abbott has sacrificed 5-3. And she looks at a called strike one. Caitlin is a junior, and her sister, the pitcher, is a senior. Out of the zone, it's 1-1. Swinging strike, it's 1-2. The Colonels look to have a little bit of renewed purpose in the 5th. Just off the plate, it's 2-2. And just below the knees, we're full up at the Balls and Strikes Motel. Tom Bodette, again, you're missing a great game. In fact, just not only leave a light on, leave a room open in Brattleboro. And a block worked by Caitlin Abbott. That is Wood's 3rd walk on the afternoon. Brings up the top of the order Kelsey Lumbra, who has lined to right, singled and scored in her 2 times up, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. And a courtesy runner for Caitlin Abbott. That'll be number 6, Brianna Dupuis, who is the flex player in right field, so she no doubt will come in. Bree Dupuis. So it looks like she'll be hitting next time around. As again, the top of the order, Lumbra lumbers in. That's a ball and a snap throw thought about, but none made. A 1-ball count. Everybody should expect to see that throw come their way right now. And that is hit deep center field. Giroux at the fence has it. And the runner comes back up. In fact, here comes the throw to second base, as it took a little bit for Daisy to come up and... In fact, I think Coach Kelly Markle's going to come check on her. I think she had the daisy knocked out of her, I think. Looks to be okay, but might have been stunned by grabbing the fly ball and then hitting the fence at the same time. Colonels do have a couple of replacements in case that Giroux can't go. But Daisy's tough. She's going to stay in. Give her a round of applause. Any young lady on either side, when given that kind of effort, deserves our respect. No matter who you play for, it takes guts to play this game. Wow.
Nice catch, center field. Well done.
So Cat Howergan, the BFA catcher, will step in from the left side with one gone and one on in the fifth. And Carpenter bluffs the runner back to first with a 1-ball count. Howergan back in. And that's fouled back of the screen. Back into the reeds, the tall grass. It's 1-1. I have to think some of that grass is decorative, or decorative, as it may be pronounced. In the dirt, Carpenter bluffs the throw and not made. It's 1-1. Should be 2 balls, 1 strikes. The scorekeeper will eventually catch up. And ball 3. 3-1. Howergan gets on, the heavy-hitting Eli Millman will be at the plate. That's hit to shortstop. Richardson over to second. And Bazanson knocked on her keister, but takes the throw for the out to get the lead runner. Howergan on with the fielder's choice. So the runner Abbott, Dupree, erased 6-4 for the second out. That brings up Millman with a runner at first. Millman on the day has walked and struck out. And she fouls that one down to the town of Georgia, which I believe is the next town south of St. Albans. In fact, there was a cheese-making plant with a whey problem up here probably 20, 25 years ago. That's how I remember that. In the dirt for ball, it's 1-1. Seeing an occasional gull off from Lake Champlain. Yeah, it's in the dirt. Nice stop by Carpenter. 2-1. So we've got 2 outs. Again, a runner at first base. A 2-1 count on the batter, Millman. Called strike, throw down to second base, and goes into center field. But Giroux quickly able to come up with the errant throw. As Millman stole second. Excuse me. Make that Howergan stole second. Millman at the plate. Two. That's up high. We're full up at the motel. Better put out some extra salted nuts. Keep the customers satisfied. 3-2, 2 outs. The runner will be going. Just off the plate, a little low, and Millman on with a walk. Now the dangerous Allie Doe, who has singled and walked on the day.
Take a good lead, cut. Have fun up there, Allie.
Doe with a bit of a crouch stance. And she looks at ball 1. What's that, crouching tiger, sitting dragon? strike. It's 1-1. Doe will get back into her crouch stance. Wood fires in the dirt for ball 2. 2-1. 2-1 count on Doe. And that was a ball. And how do you do this when you're broadcasting a ball game? Tell the person that I know you've called, I'll have to call you back. I am terribly sorry, but I'll call you back as soon as I can. Thank you. Swinging strike 3 as Doe is rung up. And that's your bottom of the 5th inning. A runner on, 2 runners on, but nothing across for the Comets. Our score, Comets 2, Colonels 1. Colonel softball on AM 1450, ESPN Radio, the ticket. Top of the 6th inning for the Brattleboro Colonels. Remember, guys, I'm the station's news director, and I do, as you might expect, a considerable amount of multitasking. At the plate is Bover, and she takes a called strike. McKenzie has grounded to the pitcher and singled in her last time up. And the ball, it is 1-1. There you go. Swinging strike 2, 1-2 on Mackenzie Bover. She'll be followed by Richardson and Struthers. The heart of the order in the 6th inning. Ooh. Swinging. Not a called strike 3 on Bover. That'll bring up Mary Richardson, who has fly to right, reached on an error by the shortstop. One of those errant throws that came our way to see if we were awake. Richardson hits it down the right field line. Right fielder Dupree has it in her tracks and gets it for the 2nd out. Positioned perfectly. She only made a couple of steps before catching that fly. Haley Struthers, who has grounded to the pitcher and grounded to the shortstop at the plate for the Colonels. Struthers fouls that back into the reeds. Strike 1. Colonels now 4 outs away from being eliminated unless they can come up and tie the score and break this 2-1 logjam. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Haley. And Haley hits it on the ground to the first baseman, Hourigan. Shanley Hourigan will take it unassisted. And that's your 6th inning for Brattleboro. Nothing across. Our score, BFA Comets 2, Brattleboro Colonels 1. It's the Colonels on AM 1450, ESPN Radio, the ticket. All right, bottom of the 6th inning. As Dussault, Chelsea Abbott, and Shanley Hourigan are at the plate. Dussault, the center fielder, nothing for 2. And she gets a called strike 1. She has popped to the shortstop and grounded to short unassisted. That the latter being a fielder's choice. That's fouled down the third base line. Oh, 2-strike count. And she hits that in the air to second baseman Bazanson, who corrals it for the 1st out. Dussault pops to second. And Chelsea Abbott, who's popped to second and popped to short, will be at the plate. The senior pitcher has pitched a really good ball game for the Comets, who now lead 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's hit in the air to Giroux in center, and she takes it in front of Smith for the second out. It'll be Shanley Howergan, the first baseman, is grounded to short and struck out swinging. And Howergan pops it to Mackenzie Bober at third. Quick 1-2-3 inning. The Comets go in order. Last call coming up for the Colonels. Our score, BFA Comets 2, Brattleboro Colonels 1 after 6. It's the Colonels on AM 1450, ESPN Radio, the ticket. All right, top of the 7th. Colonels have their last chance to bring this game even or have a chance to win in the 7th inning. They are down 2-1. Again, the winner of this game goes to Pulteney, Vermont, to face Essex tomorrow night in the Vermont Division I final. So Rissa Smith has grounded to third and been hit by a pitch. And she scored the Colonels' only run. And a strike call to start her off. Excuse me, that's Terwilliger. Terwilliger hits it on the ground. Shortstop over to first in time. Good play by Doe. As Lulu is down, and Smith, who again scored the only run, is up with one out. Terwilliger had struck out her 2 previous times. Smith has grounded to third, been hit by a pitch, and scored. So Rissa getting some instructions from head coach Kelly Markle in the third base coaching box. She stands in. Swinging, strike one. As you can tell, the Comets crowd is acting as if they've just seen Haley's Comet. And that's hit out of play in back of the left field stands. 0-2 on Rissa Smith. She'll be followed by Bailey Page. Smith swings and misses at strike 3. She'll take a seat. Bailey Page has singled and been hit by a pitch for Brattleboro on the afternoon. If the Colonel season is to continue, Bailey Page must keep it going. She looks at called strike 1. Up high for a ball. It's 1-1 on Page. Foul back at the plate. It's 1-2. A lot of shouting, a lot of screaming in the stands. Kind of sounds like a family reunion when the argument's over the potato salad. But in this case, it's 1-2 on Bailey Page. And she fouls it back to stay alive. Still 1-2. Bailey stands back in. Abbott winds, throws, and it's foul down the third base line. Still 1-2. Wow. The crowd wanted that one, but they didn't get it. Evens the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Page hits it on the ground to the first baseman. Halligan to take it up assisted. And the Comets go to the Vermont Division I final. And Brattleboro faces a long bus ride. Final score, BFA Comets 2, Brattleboro Colonels 1. We'll come back and wrap this one up and also have our play of the game and player of the game next on AM 1450 ESPN Radio, The Ticket.